Okay, so this is part 2 of the homework assignment on ratio for Math 6, Week 3, Semester 2 for Quarter 3. What number are we on?
3.
Number 3. All right, so looking at this right here, it says tied to the escalator, which is the second floor. The escalator is 12 meters long, and he rode this escalator for 30 seconds. Which statement below is true? Explain why. So the escalator is 12 meters long, and he rode the escalator for 30 seconds. He was on the second floor, right? So here are the facts. Second floor, 30 seconds, okay? And there are 12 meters, okay? He traveled 2 meters every 5 seconds. So if he's on the second floor, the escalator, how many floors are there though? Does it tell you? I don't understand how you're going to be able to figure that out if you don't know how many floors there are. Did your teacher say you have to finish it by tomorrow?
Yeah, but the questions just say he traveled 2 meters every 5 seconds. So like you're technically reducing it, so it's not.
I know, but we can't reduce it unless we know how many floors there are. Let's say, for example, there are 4 floors, right? 12 meters divided by 4 is going to give you 3 meters per floor, right? If I don't know how many floors there are, I don't know how many meters is on the second floor because I don't know how many meters for one floor. Does that make sense? So I'm going to put a question mark right here until you can ask her how many floors there are.
Can you use 12 to 30 as a ratio?
He traveled 2 meters we could probably do that. You're right, actually. So let's do 12. So we'll do 12 meters. On the bottom, we'll do seconds. So, well, no, because 30 seconds is for the second floor. Fine, let's just do that. So then if I reduce that by 2, because they're both even, I'll have 6 meters, 15 seconds, right? But I could reduce it by 3. 6 divided by 3 is 2 meters. 15 divided by 3 is 5 seconds. So that one will be true. And your explanation will be right here. That's the reasoning. Does that make sense? 10 seconds, he traveled 4 meters. So if this is your ratio right here, okay? So 2 meters is 5 seconds. To get to 4 meters. So how do you get from 2 to 4 meters? You multiply by 2, right? 4 meters, 10 seconds. 10 seconds. But you got to multiply by 2, the same number on the bottom. So 5 times 2, does it give you 10?
Yes.
2 times 2, does it give you 4? So this one is true as well. Does that make sense? Okay, so let's take a look at the last few. I'm glad you actually mentioned that because that's correct. He traveled 2.5 meters per second. So with this one, your ratio, remember, is 2 meters per 5 second. So they want to know 1 second, right? So let's do 2 divided by 5, right? So then, that wouldn't be correct because you have to divide 5 into 2 meters for 1 second, right? So then if I put a decimal here and a 0, that'll give me 4. So that'll be 20. So really 1 second equals 0.4 meters. Do you see that? So this is true, that is false, and your reason is right there, okay? Let's go on to D. He traveled 0.4 meters per second. Is that correct? 0.4 meters per second? It is right here, 1 second over 0.4 meters. That's what we just found, isn't it? Or 0.4 meters per 1 second. So that is true. Okay. For E, it says, for every 25 seconds, he travels 7 meters. Well, that way how that depends. So start with a ratio. And the ratio that we used was 2 meters per 5 seconds, right? Equals, for every 25 seconds he traveled. So it gives you 25 seconds, right? Does it equal 7 meters? Well, you got to look at this. How do you get from 5 to 25? What did you multiply? 5. 2 times 5, does that give you 7? No. So this is false. And that's the reason for it. Do you see that? Okay. What's the next one? Number 4. In a bag of marbles, 2/5 of the marbles are blue. And the rest are red. So the rest, okay, 1 bag of marble is 5 over 5. Do you agree with that? And I use 5 is because that's the common denominator, okay? So 1 bag minus 2 over 5, which are blue. If I subtract it, it gives me 3 over 5. Do you see that? 5 minus 2 is 3. 5 stays the same. This is the rest of the marble. Do you see that? Okay. If the number of red marbles is doubled and the number of blue marbles stays the same, what fraction of marbles will be red? So, oh, the rest are red. So the rest right here, these are red, okay? So if the number of red marbles is doubled, so if I double this, double means times by 2, right? It's 2 over 1. 2 times 6, or 3 is 6. 1 times 5 is 5. This is red. Blue is the same. So that's 2/5 are blue. This is your answer right here. So let me explain to you one more time how I got that, okay? So in a bag of marbles, 2/5 are blue. So 2/5 are blue, right? 1 whole bag is just 1. That will be 5 over 5. Do you see that? 5 over 5. So that means there are 5 marbles in the bag. 2 of the marbles are blue, right? Well, if there are 5 marbles and 2 are blue, what's 5 minus 2? 3. So 3 marbles are red. Do you see that? 5 over 5 is 1. Doesn't 5 divided by 5 equal 1? Because you're using the common denominator, 2/5. So in a bag of 5 marbles, okay, there are 5 marbles in a bag, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2/5, which means 2 out of 5 are blue. So those 2 are blue, right? How many marbles are left? No. How many marbles are left? 1, 2, 3. These are the left ones, right? Though, what color are those? Red. So 3 out of 5, or 3/5, are red. Do you see that? 3 of them are red. If you're doubling the red, what is double 3? 6, right? Because 3 times 2 equals 6. 6 marbles are red. So when it says 2/5 are blue, that means out of 5 marbles, 2 marbles are blue. Well, if there are 5 marbles, that means there are 3 left. 3 are red, right? Because 2 plus 3 is 5. There are 5 marbles in that. If you double the number of red marbles, if you double 3 red marbles, that will give you 6 red marbles. Okay. Okay, we're gonna move on. You can watch the video again later, but we gotta move on. Question number 1. For each problem, explain or show how you get your answer. The ratio of the number of boys to the number of girls at school is 4 to 5. Okay, so 4 boys, 5 girls. Okay, so the number matters. Boy to girls. So that's numerator, right? That's denominator. 4 is numerator. 5 is denominator. You cannot flip-flop those, okay? The ratio of the number of boys to the number of girls was 4 to 5. What fraction of the students are boys? Does it tell you the total number of boys? What fraction of students are boys? 4 to 5, okay. You could put boys to girls, or 4 over 5. Boys to girls, okay? If there are 120 boys, how many students are there altogether? Altogether means boys plus girls. Do you understand? You know there are 120 boys, but do we know the number of girls? We don't, but we have a fraction. 4 over 5 boys to girls equals. Where do I put 120 here? Numerator or denominator? Yeah, because boys are on top, right? Girls is going to be X. So then you cross multiply. Okay. And when you do that, what you're going to end up with is 4x equals 5 times 12 is 60. There's 1 0, so it's 600. Then you're going to divide it by 4 on both sides. The 4 cancels. 600 divided by 4. You're going to have to do it over here. 4 times 1 is 4. 0, bring down, or 2, bring down the 0. 4 times 5 is 20. 0, you bring down another 0. 4 times 0 is 0, so then you get 0, right? So how many are girls? 150 are girls. So when it says how many students are all together, there are 120 boys plus 150 girls. So how many students are all together? 270 are all together. Okay, that's a good question. Okay. Last question, number 2. John and Will ran for 6th grade class president. There are 36 students voting. John got 2 votes for every 1 vote that Will got. Okay, so there are 36 students. So John to Will. John got 2 votes to Will's 1 vote. These are votes, okay? Write everything you know about from this information and explain how you know this. You can say, first thing to say is, there are 36 students voting. Votes ratio equals, is it John? Right, John 2 over Will 1. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. $36 divided by 3 is 12. Do you agree? This is divided into 3 different ways, right? So what that means is that since John got 2 votes for every 1 vote that Will got, if Will got 12 votes, right? Then John will get 2 times 12 because this is twice as much. Do you see that? 12 times 2 is what? 24. So Will got 12 votes, John got 24. And then all together, it gives you that there are 36 students, right? So what's 24 plus 12?
36.
And that makes sense. So this is everything that you know. Hold on a second. So then here, the next part that you can say is for every one vote that Will got, John has twice as many votes, right? Okay. So from here, you can then say if Will received 12 votes, then John received 12 times 2, which is 24 votes. 12 plus 24 equals 36 students. That's what you should write. Does that make sense though? Okay. All right, and I think, is that everything? Okay, and that concludes it.